Whew. Right, Arsenal are back in the title race. Are they back in the title race? Yeah, they were never out of it, let's be honest. But yeah, a massive 3 points for Arsenal today at Villa Park against Unai Emery, who, had a bad evening today, even though it was in the afternoon. But you know what, that doesn't go with the joke. So I'm going to say bad evening for Unai Emery. Because yeah, Arsenal have, of course, put an end to the kind of slump in form they've had over recent weeks in their title challenge against Man City, of course, on the back of a 1-0 loss away at Goodison Park. Then the weekend after drawing 1-1 at home against Brentford, and then of course the title showdown, so to speak, against Man City on Wednesday, which they did lose at the Emirates Stadium. So today was a massively important game for Arsenal to get themselves back up into this, good run of form in this title charge that they do find themselves in this season, especially, as I said, after the poor run of form, and especially given the fact that this wasn't an easy game for Arsenal on paper going into it by any stretch of imagination, because obviously Aston Villa under Unai Emery, of course, a very organised team, very structured, good patterns of play going forward, are able to transition really well and do have some quality players in that sense as well, plus the factor of Unai Emery, of course, who did used to manage Arsenal and was essentially hounded out of the club before Mikel Arteta took over. And yeah, obviously Emery would have wanted to get one over his former club today to almost, put up two fingers to the club and the fans, of course. And as a matter of fact, it is the first time that Arsenal have beaten an Unai Emery side, so yeah, a massive result for them, and obviously winning by 4-2. If you didn't watch the game, you'd think Arsenal maybe went to Villa Park and rolled Aston Villa over, but the truth of the matter is they really did have to dig deep for this result, and to be fair, got a huge slice of luck, in my opinion anyway, to get 3 points from Villa Park today, because I think Villa were playing really well. Obviously, Arsenal got the start that they most certainly wouldn't have imagined whatsoever when Aston Villa went 1-0 up inside the first 4 or 5 minutes. Ollie Watkins doing absolutely brilliantly to spin William Saliba. I know a lot of people will blame Saliba for that one, but I think in his defence, I think he was expecting Watkins, and myself included as well, was expecting Watkins to go onto his right foot, and obviously Watkins shifted onto his left foot, which didn't give Saliba enough time to react to it, I suppose. And yeah, very good powerful finish from Watkins into the bottom corner. Then of course Arsenal do show their strength and get themselves an equaliser within 15-20 minutes of Villa going 1-0 up, with a very good finish from Bukayo Saka. And obviously Aston Villa going 2-1 up, then an absolutely brilliant goal just before half time from Felipe Coutinho. I think Kamara does absolutely brilliantly in terms of his carrying the ball. He essentially carried the ball from his own penalty area to the final third for Aston Villa, and a really good ball into the box from Moreno to Buendia, who does absolutely brilliantly to create that dummy for Coutinho, and obviously a very composed finish from Coutinho, who was a little bit of a surprise to be in this Villa team today, but I do think it was a smart decision from Emery overall. I think he looked bright off the bench in that short stint he had against Man City last weekend, so I do think it was a right decision for Coutinho, and I think he had an okay game. And then of course Arsenal get themselves that second goal to equalise. Zinchenko from the corner gets his first Arsenal goal, a very good finish into the bottom corner from him. And one thing I really liked about Zinchenko's mentality there is the rest of the Arsenal players seemed to want to go over and celebrate with Zinchenko, but Zinchenko's initial reaction, didn't even think about, was to run back to the halfway line and get the game going again, which I really think shows his steel and his mentality, which is something that Arsenal will really need this season if they are going to push City all the way in this title race, which you'd imagine and expect they would do now. And to be fair, once the second goal went in for Arsenal, I think the game really opened up, which obviously played into their hands and played into their favour a lot, because I think the reason why Villa were shutting down Arsenal so well is because they were playing so compact and not giving Arsenal any space whatsoever. I personally think Odegaard really struggled, in fairness, again, in terms of getting space and trying to get into pockets of space to create chances for Arsenal in the final third. And obviously going into the deep ends of added time, it looked like Villa were just about going to hang on 2 or 3 points, and actually it looked like they were going to win it at one sense, because John Duran hit the crossbar with an absolutely brilliant save from Aaron Ramsdale once again, like he did against Spurs a few weeks ago in the North London derby. Has made a huge save that has ultimately, you could say, been the ripple effect of them going on to get 3 points today, which obviously you are going to need from your goalkeeper over the course of a season. And Arsenal did go on, of course, to win it in the 93rd minute of the game, with Jorginho's incredible strike hitting up the crossbar and rebounding unluckily off Emi Martinez, which is just so rich considering Martinez, probably in my opinion anyway, by the looks of it, wasted I'd say 4 or 5 minutes in total in terms of taking his time over goal kicks, and I don't know how he got away with it for so long, to be fair. And to Jorginho, I'm a little bit pissed off, because I don't know why he's never done that in his Chelsea career, and it's taken him 4 games to do it in his Arsenal career, which is to shoot outside the box with that level of power. And to be fair, I think Jorginho, all bias aside, had a really good game. I think in terms of his ability on the ball, in terms of his ball retention, he's some asset to have, and take it as a Chelsea fan, because I've seen it firsthand when he was playing for us, of course. I do think Arsenal fans will be wanting Thomas Partey, or should be wanting Thomas Partey back in the team as soon as possible, because I do think Jorginho does offer some sense of a liability in terms of his defensive work, but I just think, in terms of his ability on the ball, he's very good, and I do think that if you put him next to Thomas Partey, you could have a really, balanced and very good, midfield pivot there. But I do think that he gets overrun too much in midfield, Jorginho, and I think that probably played into Aston Villa's hands today in terms of how often they were able to go forward. But overall, a very good game from Jorginho, given what he was asked to do, especially in his, on the ball work, like I said. And then, of course, the fourth goal coming from Martinelli, just your typical instance of the goalkeeper going forward and the striker having an open goal to tap it into, and makes the scoreline a little bit more pleasing on the eye for Arsenal fans, of course. But yeah, the main point here is that Arsenal got a huge slice of luck in this game, in a fixture, like I said at the start of the video, was not easy for Arsenal's, perspective whatsoever. And that's exactly what you need in a title race, especially when the going does get tough, because of course Arsenal have had it tough in the last 3 weeks, like I said, with the run of form they've been on. So I think the strike of luck they got today was 110% needed, and I think could be massive in terms of turning their season around, getting back a bit of momentum, getting back a bit of form, and getting right back on the heels of this Man City team, especially given the fact they do still have a game in hand over Man City as well in the next few weeks against Everton at home. So the big question, Arsenal, will they win the Premier League this season? Will they go on and achieve glory in the Premier League after this result at Villa Park today? In my opinion, I'm still going to say no. I'm still, pessimistic about Arsenal's title challenge. I still think City will come out trumps just because of how much experience they have over Arsenal, the quality they have in depth, and the fact they've been here so many times. But I mentioned this all in a previous video. I did do a video on Man City's victory over Arsenal on Wednesday night, if you want to go and check that out and get my full context and perspective on exactly why I think Man City will win the league. But yeah, don't write out Arsenal whatsoever, especially given a result like this, like I keep saying. So yeah, the title race is well and truly on. It's now over to Man City, who, will carry the torch in against Nottingham Forest today away from home, which will be a very tough game. Arsenal fans, City fans, and fans of any other club or just the sport in general, make sure to leave it in the comment section below whether you think Arsenal will win the league or whether you think Man City will win the league. And yeah, that will be the end of this video. If you did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like on the video. That would be massively appreciated. And also, if you could subscribe to the channel as well, that would also be hugely appreciated, because we're looking to hit 2,000 subscribers on this channel as soon as we possibly can. So any single one of you that hits that subscribe button would be helping me out massively in getting to that goal. And yeah, I'll talk to you later.